Howdy, everyone. This is Sharon for another conscious sharing moment with Sharon. And so remember to like and share. Remember to turn on your notifications so that you will know when these conscious sharing moments hit because of the fact they are not at the same time. They're pretty much on most days of the week. And the reason I have it set up like that because when life happens, there's no set time. And so what that does is that really help us to adjust, help us to move because when we pretty much are always looking for something at the exact same time. Sometimes that can be wonderful, but a lot of times we have disappointment around that and it can carry on. But when we're able to really just be in the moment and move on, we are training ourselves for the storms of life. So that is part of the reason why I do that because I guess you can say it is. Um, you already, I guess you say life training. And so also remember to hit the subscribe button so that you will always have access to these wonderful gems. And remember to, with these conscious sharing moments, in that they are life hacks for you. They are aha moments. They are insights. They are revelations. They are things that make you go, mm. And if anything, it's not enough so that they can give you knowledge where you can gain wisdom, but also where you can put these practical things in place. But if we never think about, never consider any of these things, then nothing will really change in our lives. And so let's get with it. Today, what we're going to talk about is building wealth. So when you hear building wealth, or when you just hear the word wealth, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What is the thing that you're thinking? I know with myself, I always think about money and possession. But of course, as I have gone within myself, that has expanded. And one thing I will say, we always say that health is wealth. And that is so true. The caveat is not only is health is wealth, having wealthy possessions is good for your health as well. And so you're like, oh, Sharon, well, what do you mean by that? So let's say this. In building wealth, in building your legacy, we talk about that we are stopping all of these generational curses, that it starts with us. And so, my question is, what are you doing? Because building wealth is an inside job. Your character, the things that you need to do, or shall I say, the things that you do in order for you to be the person to withstand of having the fortunes. So it's an inside job and external too. So meaning, like, what are the things that you're doing? One thing that I can say is that I did not always have the vocabulary, the insight of building health. I did not read a book or listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube or be in conversations with other or join in groups. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I want to be rich. So when I get there, and no, it's all of it. It's all of it. Building wealth is what you're doing in the inside, is what you're feeding yourself, what you're feeding your mind. Because in order to get rich, when it comes to the monetary, is to read, but it's not enough to read, it's to implement and to continue to work on that thing and not to quit when you say, oh, it's not working. Now, sometimes you may need to change direction, but give it a try. The other thing is to be able to listen, is to be able to learn, because you're not going to, even, let's say this, and we've heard those stories, even if you win the lottery today, If you do not upgrade, level up your mindset, then you will end up losing that money anyway. We've seen it happen, we heard it. And so, this is why it's so important for you to level up yourself. Again, building wealth is inside and building wealth on the outside. So, building wealth on the inside are the things that you are taking in, the people that you're around, the things that you are doing. What are you reading? What are you doing? What are you doing to make yourself healthy physically? What are you doing to make yourself healthy spiritually? What are you doing for your mental health? What are you doing for your well being? Are you really doing the work? Because one thing I can say is, even in doing the work, it's still difficult sometimes. Believe me, I know. And so the other part of it is, I kind of call it on the external side. What are you doing on the external side? Because I even used to be one, I recognized like, oh, I was focusing so much on the debt of not being in debt, but I wasn't doing anything. At one time I was, and then I stopped, and then I'm like, okay, I need to get back on it. And what am I doing to truly build? Was I looking at? Am I looking at, my income versus my outcome? Not just how much I have in the bank, but how can I protect my money? Am I learning? Am I doing? Are we willing to hear? Are we willing to make those changes? Because there's risk everywhere. There's the risk of not doing. Because if you're not going to do, you're not going to be a millionaire. And sometimes you could have 3 jobs, but if those jobs are really not erasing the debt, protecting your money, and not only that, adding up the income, then definitely look at that again. So, this is what I mean on the external, because it's not enough just to say, oh, well, I have 3 jobs or I have 2 jobs. What are your goals? And then for those of us who have businesses, because I hadn't always done this either until recently, where do I really want my business to go? How am I going to fund my business? We're going to always be looking on the external side. Oh, yeah, that's fine. But what can you put in place to say 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now? This is where I'm putting my money. This is what I know that I can have, or at least estimate very good, where I will not lose anything, and my money is protected. So, what are you doing to protect yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and even financially? What are the things that you are putting in place? Because we can talk, we can want, but if we are not doing it, then nothing will manifest. Then some people may say, oh, well, Sharon, I tried this and I tried that. And you may have. But the only thing that I can say is there are a million opportunities out there. There are a million ways of doing things. And as they say, sometimes we need one yes. But the yes that you need the most is the yes to yourself. So when are you going to start to say, yes, I am truly building a legacy because I'm doing the internal work, and not only am I putting things in place, but I am living it. Whatever those things are, because for each person it's different. But one thing that I will say is to definitely look at your finances, talk about it. There's no shame in it. I truly believe this is why we're in the state that we are now in this world. When it comes to our feelings, when it comes to our heart, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to sex, when it comes to money, that we do not talk about these things. We say that these things are uncomfortable. There are sensations that go through your body that lasts 90 seconds. Breathe through it. Believe me, believe me, believe me, believe me. I've been there too. Sometimes even in doing the work. So that means I breathe more. Exhale more. You got this. You can do this. You have everything that you need. Take the steps to build the legacy that you want. Go to the moon and back for yourself, because when you do, everyone benefits from it. But if you're always going to the moon and back for others, they benefit for the moment, but there's no legacy. And so it is never, ever too late. Do not give up on yourself. It's never too late. Start now, start today. The internal work is building your wealth and the steps that you need to take to get that. Sometimes it may be another job, not just any job, but the thing that's going to really help put you and your family on the map. And so remember, you have everything that you need. A lot of times we're waiting on ourselves to have the courage, to have one word I heard today, to get the momentum. There's nothing wrong with starting over. But one thing I will say, sometimes we may need to start over each day, but stick with it. Continue, continue, continue to cultivate those habits of health, cultivate the habits of wealth, cultivate the habits of wellness, because you deserve it, your family deserve it. And this is what is meant by health is wealth, because it's from the inside out. And so, thank you for listening for this conscious share moment. And also, when it comes to being well, when it comes to being healthy, I have a workshop, Rest, Rejuvenate, and Recover workshops that pretty much give you, some practical tools that you can use to breathe during the day while you're building your business, while you're raising your family. It allows you to move. It allows you to do the things that you need to do so that you can have the clarity, so that you can have discernment, so you can have the energy, so you won't get burned out. So definitely register their live workshops through Zoom up through April the 5th. And so after April the 5th, regarding online, I would just say it'll be a while before they be live again. And so definitely catch it either tonight at 6, Saturday at 3, or next Wednesday at noon. So I'll be looking to see you, and thank you for listening.